I look at the real life me to this fantasy me, and I'm like, wow, yeah, like this fantasy me is really who I wanted to be. And I dreamed of it and I fantasized, like I had these stories of having this be me. And I started to look now and I'm realizing that I'm starting to step into, or part of me is stepping into being that person, being that fantasy me. For years when I was growing up and even now, I go into these fantasy stories in my head, of romance and, journeys that I'm on and explorations. You can go anywhere in the world, anywhere in the universe and have these magic powers or whatever it is you have, these skills and abilities. And I would go into these places in my dreams and my thoughts and my daydreaming. And I was thinking about this recently that I would do this. And again, I did it since I was a little kid. And a lot of times it's a way that I would get to sleep. Like I would start daydreaming and then I would fall asleep at night. And I still did it though, and I realized that I was doing this. I was living in New York and I was walking to work, to the subway, to the train every morning and then commuting into work. And it was like a 15 to 20 minute walk to the subway. And on the walk, I would be daydreaming, and it was the only time during the day that I actually was happy. Like the rest of the day, I was so unhappy. Like I was not enjoying my work, I wasn't enjoying my life, I just was not in a good place. But these fantasy stories, dreams that I had in my head all made me feel just amazing. Like I had the guy of my dreams. I was this confident woman, beautiful, like I had all these things that it was just like, wow, this is who I am. And when I think about it, like I think about the woman that I dreamed of, like she had confidence, she had grace, she had a warmth about her and a caring and a kindness and intelligence, and people wanted her and desired, all these things. And yet that was not me at all at that time. At that time, I was quite shy, very introverted, stayed to myself. And over the years, I went in and out of having really good communities of friends to moving somewhere and then not having close friends for a long time and then moving again. And like I was always kind of shifting around and moving places. So my friendship groups always changed. And sometimes I was lonely and didn't have the friends. And I didn't have many romantic relationships. And when I did, they were really not that great. So I look at the real life me to this fantasy me, and I'm like, wow, yeah, like this fantasy me is really who I wanted to be. And I dreamed of it and I fantasized, like I had these stories of having this be me. And I start to look now and I'm realizing that I'm starting to step into, or part of me is stepping into being that person, being that fantasy me. I actually am stepping into it. And it's like, like, how am I stepping into this? And it's taken work. It has taken work in myself. And so that's what I offer to people and what I want to offer on the YouTube channel, as well as offering with my coaching and my Patreon, that I went through steps and I went through these things to change, to grow, to become the person that was that fantasy version. And I didn't even realize it till recently when I look at that, fantasy me, the person that I dreamed of being. It's like, oh, this is who I actually wanted to become. And through working through things in myself, I am stepping into it. So it can be done. And I want to share these things and help people that also want to step into a version of themselves. The version of themselves that is real, the version of themselves that is happy, that really has satisfaction in their life. So do join me on subscribe to the channel. As well, you can check out my Patreon, which is in the dialogue box below, and coaching programs that I offer. And the programs are helping you step into yourself, as well as the Patreon helps you gain an awareness to yourself, to who you are in your body, through connections with nature, with the greater world, with others. So again, check it out, and I'll be curious to connect with you all more.